you are investing in Ibeju Lekki, there are three important things you need to understand. And when you understand some of these things, it will save you future error, future regrets, and number three, losing money to real estate investments that does not pay you even in short time or in long time. A lot of people have bought property in Ibeju Lekki, and it pains me that 5 years after purchase, 6 years after purchase, nothing meaningful seems to be happening on their property. And they're kind of wondering, is this pattern the same? So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the Ibeju Lekki investment mistake you must avoid. More importantly, if you are a serial or a first-time real estate investor, stay and watch the video. The last part is not what you want to miss, right? And you'll get it at the end of this video. I'll be back after this short time out. Don't go nowhere. They've read laws about investing in Ibeju Lekki. In fact, if you should go online, one of the most searched Google items as far as investing in Lagos real estate is concerned, Ibeju Lekki real estate corridor has dominated the top search. And this is due to the fact that over time, this region has generated a lot of attention. And this is one of the reasons why I'm making this educative series, to enlighten you and make you understand one error you must avoid as you are investing. Now, the first thing you need to understand basically is that when it comes to development, several real estate development companies have their own ideology of what development should be or what development is. And if your own ideology of development does not align with the developer's perception of development, you might be making a costly real estate investment decision. Now, the reason why I'm making this video basically is that judging from statistics and judging from economic recession and most challenges that real estate investment faces in raising money to even buy this property, it does not make any actual investment sense for you to put down 40 million naira for a 500 square meters of land, or you put in 35 million naira, depending on the size, for a real estate investment, and 2 years, 3 years after investing in such property, nothing meaningful is happening. To me, it's not just a waste of resources, but it's an abuse of currency, because the valuation of 40 million naira as at the time you purchase is not the same valuation owing to currency depreciation. And these are some of the things you need to understand. Now, in analyzing this one Ibeju Lekki real estate investment mistake you must avoid, there are three things you need to understand. The first thing you need to understand is that as far as the real estate investment or the real estate development in Ibeju Lekki is concerned, we have some real estate development firms that are the top performing development firm, and we have the real estate development firm that are observing the performances of the top developers. Now, it is very difficult for you to identify a real estate developer that will perform. More importantly, if you are not familiar with the pattern of operation. Now, when you talk about the top performing real estate developments as far as Ibeju Lekki is concerned, now there are real estate companies that are doing extremely well, but because of the fact that I don't want this video to be excessively long, I'm just going to pick according to my own ratio performance. Now, I'm making this categorization on number one. Number one is the consistency of development. Number two is the quality of development. And number three is the documentation that secures your investment. In no pecking order, the first real estate company that have transformed the Ibeju Lekki real estate corridor is the Amen City. Now, you have seen what they've done at Amen Estate Phase 1, 100% residential, 24 hours power supply, massive security, and of course, you can attest to the fact that real estate investors that invested in this corridor are not just happy, but they are getting massive return. They have replicated this thing in their Amen Estate Phase 2. And currently, if you have visited their Amen Estate Phase 3, they are doing the same. In fact, they are the first real estate development company who is doing meaningful development as far as real estate development in the Ayetoro scheme is concerned. In terms of infrastructure, in terms of consistency, and in terms of what? Premium service, they are doing well. Now, this is not a marketing development. It's not a marketing video. However, I'm using real estate Amen City as a yardstick of what a meaningful development is concerned. What a meaningful development should be. If I'm putting 40 million naira, 50 million naira on a piece of land, it makes no actual sense if I cannot put in infrastructure or put in meaningful, things that can attract real estate investor that can help me make back my money. Now, when you look at another real estate development, I'm also going to be talking about the Macarius luxury place. If you have been to this project, you will attest to the fact that these real estate developers are transforming and giving us an insightful meaning of what development should be. When you look at Xylos, when you look at Ibeju developer of Lekki Aviation, you'll understand that their whole pattern of development is secured, meaningful, and of course, encouraging. Now, in no pecking order, if a real estate developer cannot give you what these people have provided as far as development is concerned, I would say that you should give it a second thought before you invest. Now, what is the second thought? Now, there's a general ideology that real estate investment in some part of Ibeju Lekki are meant strictly for land banking. And this is why you have to be very, very careful. Now, surprisingly, it amazes me to say that if I'm to buy a property for 35 million and I have to wait for 4-5 years for government to provide their infrastructure before I can have access, to me, as far as I'm concerned, that investment is a waste of money, because if I have a 35 million, if I have 15 million, I can get a studio apartment on the Lagos mainland where I'll be making between 6 to 7 million naira annually from shortlets. This is what an ideal real estate investment should look like. Now, I would rather put a 15 million naira in a studio apartment on the mainland where I'm guaranteed a consistent rental income than to put a 35 or a 40 or a 50 million naira in an investment where I'm still going to standstill, where I'm still at the mercy of the developer to put infrastructure. We all know basically that larger percent of most of the real estate Ibeju Lekki developers don't have good infrastructural plan. Majority of them don't have good infrastructural plan. If you doubt me, if you have been to the Folu axis, if you have been to the Odiomi and other parts of Ibeju Lekki, you will understand basically that most of those estates have been abandoned, and the ones that have not been abandoned have been taken or affected by the ongoing construction of the Lagos Calabar Coastal Road. Now, if you are investing in that region, this is my recommendation and this is my advice. Presently, the setback is 150 meters, and there's a tendency that this setback may be increased to 300 square meters. Now, if you must buy, it has to be a titled property, and if you cannot afford a titled property, leave that region, because you see, government is full of surprises. So what should you avoid, and what is that big mistake you should avoid if you're investing in Ibeju Lekki? Don't buy from a developer that is waiting for government infrastructure to be completed before you invest, because you see, as distant as Ibeju Lekki may seem, I presently know someone who is renting a 2-bedroom apartment in Ibeju Lekki for 2 million per annum. There are places whereby you can rent a 3-bedroom in Ibeju Lekki for as high as 3.5. What is the difference between that area and the other parts of Idera and other part of the difference basically is just what? The ideology of the real estate developer. If you notice that the pattern of their development is perimeter fencing, gatehouse, and maybe 1 or 2 flowers, and after that, nothing is happening. Avoid such, because you see, you will be tying your money in an investment that you will not get return. A lot of people have said, okay, if I'm land banking, it requires that I wait for a very long period of time. Truthfully, yes. So if I'm to wait for a very long period of time, then why should I now be paying 40 million, 50 million in a place where I've had to wait for 4 or 5 years? That is not land banking. That is financial mistake or real estate investment mistake. And these are some of the things. If my investment will not give me cash flow, and what are those things that will guarantee cash flow? Look at what Amen is doing. Look at what Macarius is doing. Look at what Xylos is doing at the Lekki Havana. And look at what they've done in other places. These are development. If you look at also the developer of Lekki Aviation, I can't remember the name. These guys are the ones showing what development should be like. And any investment outside these three companies, or you are doing investment with a developer that does not have any infrastructural development, you're wasting your money. So these are some of the things you must do. So going forward, your developer must prioritize infrastructural development. Number 2, your developer must understand why you cannot hold on for long. And in a situation where the developer does not show any sign of doing anything meaningful on that development, on that investment, you don't need a society to tell you that they are just buying or wasting your money. So, in conclusion, if you must buy Ibeju Lekki, buy from a developer that you have seen his track record of development. And what you must now do basically is that you also need to diversify. Don't put all your investment in Ibeju Lekki. There are still some places in Ibeju Lekki that even if they choose to put multi-billion-dollar infrastructure, because of the nature of those places, you still have to wait. So this calls for property diversification. As you're buying Ibeju Lekki, buy short-let, buy residential, buy commercial properties, malls, everything. Go for short-let apartments, both on the mainland and the so if you have diversified your real estate investment portfolio, you'll understand that you have done an incredible, meaningful, progressive, and of course, intelligent real estate investment. Until I come your way with another exciting and of course, educated session with property matters, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. God bless you. Bye for now.